Well, hello again. Kind of a nice fall day. A good day for a big pot of chili and a fireplace. The informative speeches are what I'm going to be talking about this time. There are a couple other things I want to have you keep in mind. Not the least of which is that I sent out a message about your last two speeches, your persuasive speech and also your special occasion speech. Please pay attention to those dates. I'm not exactly sure what you guys can see on your end versus what I can see on my end, but if you got it done and you want to go in and post it early, then feel free to do so. A couple of points on this speech. Number one, I've asked that you send me your outlines from your email address to my email address. Don't post them anyplace that includes Connect. So send them to me via email. All right, so I have them. The other thing is we're still missing some camera shots. I would hope you would look at your video before you send it to me, because a couple of videos are going to be talking about this time. I couldn't see the speaker. They stood in front of a screen which is bright. It irises the camera down. And because they're showing a PowerPoint to their audience, they've got the lights turned down, the screen and the lights turned down equal you're a silhouette. I can't see your face. I can't see you. You have the wrong camera shot. And then because you included the screen in your video, you move so far back, I can't hear you either because the microphone's too far away from you. Lots of things that you need to remember about doing these speeches. And you know, if you can't maximize your appearance for your audience, then the audience isn't going to get anything out of your speech anyhow. All right, sources. You must cite the correct number of sources. They must be included in your outline. Read the instructions. They're there. They're in there. All you have to do is read them. Length of time. Make sure you do that. Also, if there's any confusion at all about the points, please refer to the syllabus. Don't look at anything else and say how many points you get on the speeches. Look at the syllabus. It has the correct number on there. All right, as usual, if you have any questions, call me in my office. Let's get started on this. And wouldn't you know it, the very first thing, I don't have the fantasy name for. Wonderful. Okay. What do we do? Well, let's just put it this way. You talked about health food and food for health. Let's do it that way. Very nice appearance. That makes a big difference. You only had one outline. Watch the hair flip to get the hair off your face. You want to be really careful of that. This was an interesting topic, but you had a lot of terms in there that you used that really needed explaining. Terms that in context probably mean a great deal to you, but as the casual viewer of all of this, it needs a little bit. However, still a good and interesting speech. All right, next up is Zippy. Zippy, you had great lighting, nice appearance. Include your bibliography in your outline. Also, this speech is something that you did off of, you would say a short phrase and then move a page or a note card. I presume you were reading from the note cards. But it also forced you to read in very short bursts that went to the next page before you did, the next thing you did, and then you did. And so there's no conversation in there when you're doing it that way. Make sure, if you're using note cards, you're not reading them, because if you read them, it will sound kind of a rhythm that we can beat out when we're doing that. What else do we have here? Work on your flow. Also, you need to be more conversational. That'll come when you get rid of this read each card separately. And also, doing that, being more conversational, will lower the pitch in your voice. The pitch in your voice became a little bit shrill, and you want to be careful of that. Bring it down a little bit, be more conversational. Next up, this person spoke about postpartum depression. Again, I didn't write down the fantasy name. You'll know who you are. One of the most heartfelt speeches that we've seen in class, in any class. because it's a personal experience. That is fantastic. Your end of your speech was cut off. I don't know what happened. The camera turned off early or something. But this was an excellent first-person presentation. It was a perfect rhythm to your presentation and how you presented it. You grabbed the audience and you took them on a journey that they were interested in, but boy, you took them. And that's huge when you capture an audience like that. And also, I couldn't find a visual anywhere unless it was cut off at the very end. Perhaps the visual could have been a picture of your kids, which would have been pretty neat. But overall, great job. And you have a light tisk, so be careful of that. All right, next up is goat, and you're shooting up and into your face. That's a no-no. There was a lot wrong with this speech. You have no sources cited in your outline or in your speech. It ran very short. There were no visuals. There were no sources. I can think of all kinds of things that it screamed for, and it missed. It seemed to be just something that you thought of at the last minute, threw it together, and gave it in a kind of attitude of, well, I'm interested in this, and so I'll do it. I have no idea. It missed the mark in just about every way it could miss it. Next up is Scenic, and we have something that I can't see your face because you're in the dark, and I can't hear you to judge you. Your camera is so far away from you that I can't hear what you're saying, even when I have everything up at full volume. I did hear, because it came in a silent spot in the other noise in the room, a tisk almost at the end of sentences, almost every sentence. The visuals that you sent me were excellent. As with many of you, the visuals, PowerPoints were excellent PowerPoints. And finally, not finally, but Trixie, good lighting on the face, very good PowerPoint, nice appearance. You are a little, what is this? You're kind of reading your script to us, and that means you're bound to your script more than you need to be. Talk to us. Use your script for notes of what you want to say next. I'm reading this because I'm trying to get it back right. Slow down just a little bit. This was a really good story, but you're not being conversational with us. You're giving us a kind of a classroom book report feeling about what you're talking about. It's a very interesting topic, very, very good presentation skills with your PowerPoint and things like that. But talk to us instead of lecture to us or do the book report kind of sound. Strong finish at the very end, and it became conversational at the end too, because at the end it was kind of like, now you're going to talk to us. You looked at us, and it got a lot warmer. Okay, so, and this was a very well researched speech, which makes a huge difference, and it showed. Next up is Monk. I couldn't see the face of any of your audience members. I can't see your face. I couldn't tell whether there was eye contact or not. You couldn't tell if I had to. You have the wrong camera shot because of TV to show the visuals being the prominent thing in the speech. You're giving a lot of information with no sources. You say stomach flu, then you say there's no such thing. Then your visuals are out of focus. I can't see most of them. There were no outlines. Do anything for ya instead of you. And you were supposed to send me a copy of the visuals, and I didn't get them. Next up is Tesla. And Tesla, you need 3 sources, not 2. The wrong camera shot. You're shooting up into your face. Watch the sniffles. This is the time of year when we get to this kind of thing, and you don't want to be doing that, or or if you do it, you need to excuse yourself. Not much we can do about sinus problems, but you can control it when you're speaking. You need to lose the vocalized pauses. It's not clear how you presented your visuals in your speech, and it's also you're reading too much and you are too tied to your script. Watch the tisk. Next up is Percy. Percy, you have no outlines, you have the wrong composition, you need to zoom in. The soft focus, there were a lot of facts in your speech but no sources. It was interesting information. This speech screams to see your dog, even explain what your dog does for you. Watch the tisk. But the main thing was this is an interesting and important speech, but I'm not sure where you fit into the speech. I presume you do from some of the things you said, and if that's the case, that's why seeing your dog would help, even a picture, but also an explanation of what your service dog use does for you. Next up is Dorian, and your outlines are not labeled. The whiteboard is going through your head. There's a whiteboard band, and it's like the arrow in Steve Martin going through the head. It doesn't, but eliminate any distractions in the room where you're standing. The audio was horribly out of sync. You had very low energy, a highly disrupted flow, not a good general audience speech. This was a boring college lecture based on what you were talking about. You said something about knowing that there was a sync problem, but I didn't get any indication from you that you contacted Connect. You certainly didn't contact me. The outlines are posted in Connect, not sent to me as required. Remember, you must send me the outlines. Don't post them in Connect. Next up is Kiko. You violated the showing of the audience rules by showing them first. You're standing with a very bright light over your head, which is causing some iris problems. Watch the tisk. Stand still when speaking. You're reading way too much of your speech. Your flow is very disjointed. You're giving a lot of facts with no sources, and you're using people's names you can't pronounce. Don't do that if you can't pronounce them. Look them up. I have no outlines, and you're reading the last statement and, not really paying much attention to your audience. Next up is Deline. Good shot composition. Establish your credibility on this speech. It's kind of important we know why you're talking about it. Your outlines are not labeled. That's for everybody. Make sure your outlines are labeled. Speaking outline, preparation outline. I've got to know what you intend what to be because I can't tell looking at some of them. Your outlines both need to be labeled. What I presume is your preparation outline is the full text of your speech, word for word. So, don't do that because that's a tendency for you to want to stand there and read everything. Why cite a 1989 study? That's 24 years old, and you're citing a study from 24 years ago to talk about why it's important today? Come on. Folks, when you give a speech, get accurate and up-to-date information. And you're also reading your speech. Okay, that's pretty much it. We're going to call it on that. Don't forget to read up on how you're supposed to do your persuasive speeches and submit them, and also your special occasion speech. I'm going to be posting your latest course grades. Everything should be up to date. If you have any questions, as always, call me in my office.